Yeah.
Is that it? Is that you just start recording?
I don't know what day it is.
It's
yeah, I
so
do.
it's
Recording a
such a. I was gonna say before this podcast started, I feel like I really like Hamish's jumper.
Oh.
Do you agree, Simon?
I do. I think
pretty
Hamish
smart.
is showing a level of fashion that we've not seen in him before.
Yeah,
It goes along with his nice new office chair as well. I'm appreciating the new chair.
A bit basic. You look at the back. Think about
Fighting
the old
words.
with the
Basic.
posters
I haven't
and
got,
the
but I haven't got.
shelf. And now look at it. It's a little nice little arm.
He used to be edgy, and now he's just one of them.
Look at this.
Ooh.
Wow, what happened? He used to
Okay.
be, it's not a bad thing.
It's not
you know?
done.
He's maturing.
Okay,
He's,
cool.
Is that sweater from
34
Next,
years
Hamish?
old,
Where's it from?
It's a Billabong, actually.
Billabong.
It's Billabong, actually. I've had this
What a
jumper.
dude.
I've had this jumper for 3 years.
Oh, it looks good on you, mate.
Thank you.
It's
That's why I brought it.
Random question. What's the oldest piece of clothing that you still wear?
Ooh, I don't. I had this conversation with Faye not so long ago that I actually looked because I did a bit of a clear out of clothes and I never brought any of them apart from 3 tops, which all of you have seen, which most of you have seen. If you see me come to a tournament wearing dye dark, you know, the one with like the white top that has death on it and all that. That's all from dye dark. I brought those 3, and the rest of my clothes I didn't buy anything. I think the oldest piece of clothing I've got is about 7 years old.
Yeah, okay. Pretty respectable.
Yeah. But I've still got some clothes that I don't wear. They're like band stuff that I've quite liked, but I couldn't throw it.
Yeah.
And I've put that away. That's like about 15.
Yeah, no, it has to be
20
stuff
years
that you
old.
still wear. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah, about 7 years old.
What about you, Trip? Are you a clothes hoarder?
Yeah, I am. I'm a major clothes hoarder. Also, I bought a lot of clothes when I was young that didn't really fit me because I was incredibly skinny. And it was actually
grown into them.
Oh my god!
And now I'm much bigger.
What?
I'm not a lot bigger, but now they actually fit me. So I do have I have a Barber jacket that I bought secondhand.
That's all you ever bloody wear.
It was before I went to uni, so it would have been at least at minimum 17 years I've had that, and it was secondhand when I bought it. So, and I still wear that quite a lot. But I've got a lot of coats that I still wear. A couple of. Not really anything else, I guess, that I wear that's that old, but I do have lots of old clothes. I tend to keep my clothes for quite a long time. I'm thinking about wearing this black velvet blazer thing that I've had for probably as long as that coat, actually, more than 17 years, to a Christmas party that's coming.
I like the sound of that a lot.
Okay.
It's a bit worn, but you know, it's a themed Christmas party, so you can kind of get away with it because most people just buying stuff they've picked up for the charity shop anyway. But
Absolutely.
I'm not very good at throwing away clothes. It's a good question, Simon. What about yourself? Do you?
I have a bright red Under Armour Cold Gear hoodie that was bought for me in 2009, and I still wear it quite regularly. It's just so good.
Wow.
It's so warm and it's so comfy and it just fits really well. Love it.
Cool.
Got it when I used to play American football. Well, Nikki bought it for me when I used to play American football at uni.
Well,
and
I feel like you guys have got a reason to keep all this stuff. And I've got a reason why I haven't had mine for so long. I've gotten fat. That is
fair.
When up my oldest stuff, I'm like, I can't fit into this anymore.
Do you have any like I've got? I just thought I got some Doc Martin boots as well that I've had for 18 years.
Yeah, Doc Martens are a good one. I'm only recently into the Doc Martin.
I've got one pair of shoes, and
that's it, just one pair.
That's it, just the one pair.
Seriously, I've got one pair of shoes. I've had them for 2 years. They're getting a bit haggard. It's time for me to get another pair of shoes and throw those ones out. You've seen it. It's my Vans, the ones that.
Yeah.
I've just got them, and I wear them all the time. And I've got my Doc Martens as well, obviously, and whatever normal pair of swanky shoes I got for wedding. But yeah.
So you must have some
it's crazy, isn't it? Because we buy, like Hamish will know this. We buy clothes for our kids all the time, and they just grow.
Faye
Faye does. Nikki does. but they grow out of them super quick, and then you end up handing down.
Yeah.
Like we've got cousins and stuff, we hand them down. But then when you get to adulthood, you stay the same size. You get to wear clothes until they did like fall apart. It's great.
Yeah. Or when until they literally do fall apart.
This is the content that people are tuning in for. This is
that's welcome to
the real life flesh and blood content.
Push the point. There you go. Comment below. What's the oldest piece of clothes that you still wear? But while you're deliberating on this, grab a beer and let's get going.
Yeah.
Right.
Hamish.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Oh, well. So, beer number 2 from when I got... Well, I went to the shops and I got 2 beers and I was looking forward to this one. Brewdog Hazy.
Yeah. Brewgooder. Brewgooder.
Oh, yeah, Brewgooder. I thought it was...
Not Brewdog.
Whatever. I kept thinking, is it the same dudes that did the... I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was
Maybe it's a collaboration.
No, I don't know. It's a Brewgooder Hazy IPA. What about you, Simon?
Nice.
What are you drinking?
Well, I'm on call, so non-alcoholic. I know. What a cheater. I don't know if this is a first for our podcast, but I've actually moved away from the Coca-Cola soft drink to a cherry. No, just cherry Pepsi Max.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, I prefer Pepsi myself.
I have to say that I prefer full-fat Coke to full-fat Pepsi, but I prefer Pepsi Max over Coke Zero. I know there's no rhyme or reason why.
I might be the opposite of that, actually. Now I'm saying it out loud, because actually I don't really drink full-fat Coke or Pepsi much anymore.
No, I don't.
And I think I prefer Coke Zero. And actually, to be honest with you, I think I prefer Diet Coke.
No, Diet Cokes are wronging.
Wow.
I know, there's something weird about it, but I like it. And I agree with you, Hamish. There is a weirdness to it. But that appeals to me.
You like that?
Appeals to me. I do like weird shit.
Okay.
Anyway.
What are
you
stick on trip drinking?
Thank you for asking. I didn't want to introduce myself.
You went on about Coke.
Yeah, I know, it's my own fault. I'm just messing with you. I've got a classic. I've got Banks's Amber Ale.
You're loving the London beers at the moment, aren't you?
Well, you get this in the delivery. It's about £1 from Sainsbury's.
Nice.
What's not to like?
There you go.
It's only 3.4% as well. And I was looking.
That's pretty light.
It's quite hard to find light beers in UK these days.
Yeah.
The
sessionable beers. It's
even finding a beer under, I would say 4.5, or it is getting quite tricky. Everything is getting stronger, I think, with beers. Like,
they're trying to get us so drunk.
They're trying to get us pissed.
They're trying to inebriate our whole existence.
Do you know this about like Costa Coffee, where a normal Costa Coffee has 3 shots of espresso in it?
Really?
They don't tell you.
I thought Costa was 2. I thought Costa was 2, unless you buy flat white, that's 3, and then Nero, I think, is like 3.
No, well, I think it's 3. I think you're right, Simon. There is one drink from Costa that's only got 2, but most of them have 3 shots in it. They're just
that is solid, isn't it? It's so much caffeine.
I don't drink coffee, so not to get too deep on this, but what does that mean, like 3 shots?
Well, it's basically, they don't advertise it, so suddenly
it's a triple espresso.
You're like, oh, this is a bit strong, but then you keep drinking it, and then you can't go back down to 2, and sooner or later they'll do it. And so normal cafes, you can't afford to put 3 shots in. You can't go there anymore because it doesn't feel as strong anymore. It feels quite manipulative.
I mean, most people, if you said to most people, go and buy a double espresso, they'd be like, oh no, that's too strong. But then they chuck a load of milk in it.
Exactly. So, like 1 shot should be normal, really. That should be a normal.
That's a bit cheeky, but that's almost just like if they upped up the sugar content or stuff that, like, I assume having that much caffeine isn't good for you.
Well,
not on a regular basis. Yeah,
no,
I think when you're not expecting it, right? Like you get a bit of a tolerance to caffeine. You get like a regular, like, oh, I'll have this amount in a day, and that's it. I don't want any more. And then suddenly you're way over because you didn't. They don't have to display this kind of information.
Do you know what the thing? I think
that's right.
I think the thing that gets most people with caffeine is if you are ever trying for a baby or pregnant with a baby, right? You get given guidelines on how much caffeine you can drink in a day, and you realise how little you can have in a day per guidelines for what you can drink when you're pregnant.
Is there a thing you're not meant to have cheese
got a lot
as well?
Cheese and cured meats and raw fish and stuff like that.
Honestly, if I had a baby, like if I was a woman, and I was having a baby, I'd die. That's all I eat is coffee, cheese,
I can tell you, Trip, you won't die, but you'll be miserable.
I'll be so sad.
That's harsh,
there's very little that brings light to my life.
Well, no, but if you're so used to, it's like smoking. If you're a heavy smoker and you're pregnant, it's a rough gig, isn't it? Like, you shouldn't smoke because that's really bad for your baby.
I love drinking as well, so that would be pretty tricky. I really like cheese.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Very difficult. Fortunately, of course, I'm a man and I don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, everyone. So, I think we're just talking. All our female listeners,
yeah,
we agree. It's pretty easy. Jody.
Anyway,
Jody, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
No, I said all our listeners, Jody and whoever else.
Jody,
yeah.
There's a couple of them. My mum.
The amount of coffee, caffeine, and the amount of sugar in a latte is crazy.
Trip, you literally caused her.
He's probably still watching this at this point. Apparently,
Hamish.
I just want to warn my mum, because apparently Hamish has got a very dodgy story. That's going to come.
Okay, yeah.
If you're listening, Mum,
you might find
out. We've
had a good run. No,
Trip's mum, this is for you.
No, I guess Ruth. She doesn't like that sort of thing.
We'll put in a warning.
Okay, we'll get there.
I don't even know if I'm going to like this sort of thing.
No, you will. Promise.
Right. Everyone, before we started this, Trip's like, we need to keep this tight, and now he's already gone off on like 3 tangents.
12 minutes.
That's all the tangents. I'm done.
Trip,
that's fine.
Give me a winner.
Oh, sugar. Yeah, I haven't done it.
Okay, so while
we're waiting,
stall for time.
We shall talk about our wonderful podcast partners.
Yeah.
Okay. And we should probably start with Hamish.
All right, cool. Well, do you want me to do a lot?
Do it.
Yeah, okay, go on then. Right, we have Thistle Tavern, which is an awesome Scottish single seller from the Aberdeens. If you haven't checked it out, they have a store over there. So if you're from that area, go check it out. If not, you can go online. And if you're a patron, you get 10% off on all card singles, not the sealed product, just the singles only. And yeah, it's brilliant. We've been using it for a little while now, and it does save quite a lot of money, especially when new sets are coming out and you want to get those singles in. 10% off. It's a blimmin' bargain. Not just that, we've also got Metal Fab Tokens, which is a awesome token seller from America. I've got a load of tokens over here to ship it out to the UK and the EU, of course, at Royal Mail prices. Go check out metalfabtokens.com, and they do loads of really good tokens for awesome TCGs. And we've also got PCG, which is, they've got a UK office. PCG is a grading service for card games. So if you want to get your cards graded and you're a patron, you get a voucher that you can use. More details in the description if you want to use that. But go to use all these services. These are our amazing partners. Thank you so much. And the Wheel of Time, which Trip is about to announce, is proudly given by Thistle Tavern. We give 6 packs away to one lucky patron. And Simon, what are the packs we're giving away?
Currently, we're on 6 packs of Rosetta still.
Whoa,
so we have
perfect
6 packs of the current set.
And who's the winner, Trip?
Well, I had to spin it twice because I forgot that we had a new patron, so I just added the new patron on, and I can reveal that the winner of the second official spin, it's another long-time supporter of Push the Point. It's David Dyson.
Oh,
we're getting some long-term patrons have been doing very well.
Yeah, coming back round.
The top end of the wheel. It spins itself. It's completely neutral, but it has been picking some long-time supporters. Of course, all of the supporters of Push the Point are equally beloved by ourselves. We thank you so much for supporting the podcast. But yeah, well done, Dyson. We'll be in touch with how you can access your packs. Whew.
God.
Well,
Right.
Home
Is
news.
it time for some home news?
Home news. Home news. We'll keep this tight, right, guys?
Go.
Right, you kick off first, Simon, and I'll keep it tight.
I'm going first. Oh wow. Okay. So I mentioned, I think last time, that we were going to get some cats.
Oh,
yeah.
meow, 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 meow. Simon's
We
cats.
Hey.
We have two kittens.
Well,
Lucifer and Diablo.
yes.
We have
Great
kittens.
names.
So now in the house, what's going on?
They are in the house. They are settling in. Lucifer is 1 month older than Diablo. They're from different litters, but from the same foster home for the rescue charity. Lucifer's like the older brother, like the sensible older brother. And Diablo's like the mischievous explorer. He will just jump and climb and find anything to disrupt. He's loving life. They're doing really well. The kids are getting on really well with them. Maybe a bit too hands-on at times. The kids need to just chill the beans a little bit, but they're doing, settling in all right. So yeah,
cool.
been good. And my other piece of home news, would you believe I surprised myself? I actually went and played some Flesh and Blood.
That's brilliant. Nice. But is that home news or is that Flesh and Blood related?
Do you want to come back to it in a bit?
We'll
come back to it.
Okay.
Trip, home news.
I'll keep it super quick because I've not been doing much. I got back into Stardew Valley in a big way.
1.6.
Never really got into that.
Yeah, 1.6. It's fun. It's one of those games that people say is really relaxing and chilled out, and it's just not. Like it is. It's
quite intense.
Running a farm and making money, but I've never really done a playthrough longer than like 2 years before.
Okay.
I decided to put it up on my Switch.
That's long.
In game.
In game 2 years. Yeah.
Right.
So I put it up on my
Jesus
Switch,
Christ,
and man, it just reminded me how good the Switch is. Just like how it's so light, and you can just sit on the sofa and you can
just chill with it.
Great console. I think we might be getting a new Switch from Nintendo soon as well, so that's quite exciting. But
nice.
No, that's what I've been up to. I think the weekend before I did D&D. I can't remember if I mentioned that on the podcast or not. I did another session of D&D for my pals, which was very good fun. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Mostly just been working. Work's been pretty busy, so my weekends have been pretty chill. I don't have kids like these two, so I can just not do anything at the weekends if I'm tired. It's great.
Mad lad.
Right.
Mad lad, just
Mad
chilling.
lad.
Yeah, imagine chilling when tired.
Imagine.
Hamish,
Right.
what about you, my good sir?
Do we need to put out a warning?
I think we do. Hamish, before we started recording, Hamish was like, guys, I've got a story, but it's too hot for the podcast. And we were like, think of all the things you talked about on the podcast.
Yeah. How 35, Hamish?
Yeah.
He's 35 years old, but apparently this could be something. So if you're a nervous disposition, please leave the podcast. Come back.
If you're listening with kids,
I'm going to say like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
If you're listening with kids, just keep going. Just speed on ahead. 10 minutes.
Just keep playing it. Just keep playing.
They'll learn a thing or two. No.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Strap in. Right. Okay. So this has been approved by the wife first and foremost, right?
Yeah. Let's be clear. Consent has been given.
Consent has been given. In fact, it was so funny. Afterwards, she said, "Oh my God, that's so funny. You gotta say this on the podcast." And I was like, "All right."
That's big.
All right. Okay. Okay. It was so funny. She cried anyway. So what happened was that kids. So the kids are gone to my parents for the night. So I've already set the mood, everyone.
Good start.
Good start to the night, right? Anyway, so you know what happens when you've got the kids who are away, right? So that's what's happening. So I went and reached around. It's dark, right? So I'm reaching around to grab a bottle of something. And then I thought, right, here we go. And then I squeezed the stuff into my hand. And I went, it's a bit thick. I was like, what the hell? Is this like frozen or something? I just rubbed it off on my leg and thought, this can't be right. Got another load. And I thought, hang on, this isn't right. maybe this is it. And then I went, no, it can't be. I turned around. Well, everyone, it wasn't the LUBE I thought it was. It was face mask.
What face mask?
Charcoal
What,
face. Charcoal face mask.
Oh, Hamish.
Everywhere.
Oh, no.
Literally everywhere. And then Faye was like, "You're right." And I just jumped up and went, "I can't believe I've done this." I've just jumped up and said,
I can't believe
I can't believe I've done this. And I'm black. I'm literally I'm charcoal black everywhere down there. She's just going, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "What have I done?" She was in tears. I actually thought at first, I was like, "Oh my god, it's tan. I've just sprayed tan all over it." She's like, "It's not tan, it's a face mask."
Like some horrible attempt at blackface.
I just thought,
You didn't have to say
careful,
that.
Hamish, you'll get
We don't
cancelled.
want that.
No, it was. I just had to run into the shower, and I come back and said, "Oh, my pores are opened."
I was gonna say, I bet you're feeling good down there now.
There you go. That was the. That was. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
That's good. That's
I can just imagine the panic on your
that.
face.
I did
That
sit
wasn't
there.
too bad. That wasn't
It wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. But you know, I thought the actual thing wasn't that bad. But it's how do I get into it?
How do you approach the topic?
You know what I mean, man? What
With
are
a
we gonna do
face
for the thumbnail
mask.
for this one?
What's that?
What are we gonna do for the thumbnail for this?
Hamish with a charcoal face mask.
No,
No, I don't think so.
I kind of don't think that's appropriate.
Simon's what this is. So what Simon says worse than what Hamish is saying. Hamish's story.
Somehow. Anyway,
Oh god.
other than that, I went to a Christmas thing with my kids. Right.
Oh yeah. What did you go to?
Oh, it's called Riverside Hub. Anyway, I'm not going to bang on about that. That'll do. That's my story. Charcoal.
Okay. Shall I talk about some Flesh and Blood?
Yeah. You made it, everyone. You made it.
I went to a skirmish.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's on, isn't it?
What kind of? Well, firstly, what kind of skirmish?
A blitz skirmish.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is far more
which very much surprised me because I haven't played blitz in about 2 years, probably since Ira and Shane disappeared. To be fair.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought to myself, what do I play? Zen has come back in, right? Zen has come back in. What other options were there? There could have been some KO.
Yeah, you're teasing us. I don't care. Who did you play? It's Blitz.
I'll give you a guess. Who did I play?
You played Katsu.
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you play Aurora?
I did not. I played Prism. Old school Prism.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's weird.
Luminaris Prism.
Oh,
I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself.
Fun in Blitz.
I borrowed the list off of our long-time Patreon and friend of the show, James Armstrong.
I knew you did. I knew he was the one that constructed this for you. Because there's no way you'd know what to do.
No, I haven't played Prism since Jamie convinced half of us to play it at Battle Hardened about 3 years ago.
That was so good.
Right.
So yeah, I went there. I bought a ticket the night before, built the deck the night before, turned up. First game, played the new Prism.
Mm.
That is a weird matchup. I managed to stop them getting enough figments and got through all of the ward to get to 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
I then came up against Noah Hicks, who's a really good player.
Yeah.
He was on Enigma New Moon.
Oh
my god! Battle of the Illusionists.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and again,
cool. That's a cool hero.
That is a cool hero. I managed to get the most ridiculous turn 0 of Genesis and then Haze bending out.
Right.
Oof.
And then I just carried tempo. Yeah, I just carried tempo. So 2-0, and then I came up against the one hero I didn't want to see as Prism, KO.
Right.
I lost that.
Yeah.
And you won, right?
That was bad. So 2-1 going into the winning in. There was going to be a top 4, 16 players at this skirmish at Dice Cup in Nottingham. and I came up against a Dash IO.
Interesting.
And we had a bit of a race, and then they got two high octane turns out, and
But I
two
thought
max.
that card was banned, Simon.
Yeah, in Blitz it's not, which is weird. So
Yeah.
I managed to see off the first high octane turn and not get hit by 3 boom grenades they had on the board. And then they got a max velocity out, and then they had another high octane turn and another max velocity, and then I just couldn't do any more.
Fair enough.
Well,
so 2-2. I came 6th. I missed out on top 4. But it was a great day. Enjoyed playing. Prism.
Coming up against some cool heroes, playing a cool old hero sounds pretty fun. Who do you know who won the tournament? What hero won?
So Jonathan Hicks won that tournament on KO, the KO that I lost to.
Yeah, KO's pretty good, to be honest.
Top 4 was quite varied. So it was the KO that I lost to that went on to win versus Enigma New Moon,
right,
and Dash IO versus Aurora were the top 4.
Oh, so there was an Aurora.
Yeah, there was an Aurora
for Blitz, but I'm yet to actually properly play her. But I reckon she'll probably be pretty decent because she's very aggressive.
Yeah.
It's an interesting season of Flesh and Blood, I think.
It's strange, isn't it?
It's that time again, everyone. If we've been here before since 2022, isn't it? Really? That's 20. Like the end of San Jose was the first time I actually felt.
Yes.
Like
you needed a rest, and everything went quiet.
When I'm not saying Fab isn't boring, but there's a moment at a period of time in the year where you get. Maybe, like you said, like you need a break, but in other words,
it's the equivalent to the Gooch
happening.
of the year, isn't it?
What? I've never heard of it. What? The Gooch?
Have you not heard the week between
week
between
Simon's
Christmas
on bangers
and New Year?
Simon's on one today. I was like, Hamish coming in with this, like, I've got this really
it's a good story. Face mask on the groin. This guy.
Yeah.
It's the week between Christmas and New Year. The Gooch, the bit between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but no.
Okay,
I hear you. No, I hear.
But this is the bit. This is the bit between Worlds, the Fab calendar. This is the bit between Worlds and the like the next big event, right?
Yeah, Worlds is kind of for a lot of people. It's weird, really, because it actually isn't. It just is for us, but it actually isn't because there's call-ins going on, especially.
Absolutely, but it's the big pinnacle of the year, isn't it? It's their flag, flagship event.
Yeah, it's
cool to have a late year calling, wouldn't it?
No, there is. There are.
London.
There are. There's one in Chicago next week.
I know that there's always one in America.
Yeah,
right?
America
don't
like bloody
in the UK.
count.
Like we had Florence, and that was pretty cool, and that was something to look forward to. But I feel like we could just a little cheeky calling in December would be real nice, wouldn't it? Just to have a little something at the end of the
Christmas flavor.
I feel
like a Christmas special tournament. Maybe, I think really what we're missing is that classic constructed, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no classic. No, there was a classic constructed. Or was that a battle hardened? Or was it a call-in?
The call-in
because Michael Feng
wasn't CC. Maybe again.
Portland? Yeah,
Portland.
I think it was a battle hardened.
You get a ton of good stuff, but
was it? No, I don't think it was a battle hardened. No, it wasn't. It was.
Oh no, it was the 50th calling. Yeah, it was the 50th calling.
Yeah, where that Florence was very much. We need that'll be 49th.
That was sealed though, wasn't it?
We need a 50th. And that
I went to my local armory and played a bit of Ira and Classic Constructed, and I was super excited. And then after that, it was like, we're going to do Blitz and Living Legend to build up to Skirmish. And I was sort of a bit like, I don't really. I was kind of excited to play more CC.
Now we've got Jarl.
Yeah. I want to talk. We are going to talk about Jarl, but this is the period of Flesh and Blood where it is like, okay, Christmas season started. It's whatever. Like I haven't played normally I play mostly on Talishar because of how my work and life pans out. I can't get to play it physically that often. but not. I haven't really been deck building, deck thinking. Sort of just.
Yeah.
I've been keeping my ear to the ground on the Fab thing, but just not had any sort of hype to sort of build or test anything quite yet. I should really get my act together though, because January is Road to Nationals season, isn't it? Yes, it is.
It's January and maybe a little bit of early February, but that's the time.
I need to get my sort of head in the game really, which I probably will when Christmas is finished. But yeah, speaking of changes, Jarl is out. This last
Jarl is out.
It would have been last weekend, so I'd like to sort of dive into him. If you guys got anything else that you want to talk about other than Jarl.
I've done my skirmish bit. I've played my my monthly round of Fab.
Go for it. Mate.
Cool. So Jarl coming into play. The first sort of thing I want to throw to you guys is actually, is he going to like really shake this?
Push the meta.
Yeah. Is he going to show up and actually change it all up? I'll go. Trip. What do you reckon?
I think that. So my first take of Jarl is that he is going to be a big hero at Road to Nationals. I think people should not think he's not going to turn up at Road to Nationals.
No, he will.
There's a lot of people who are really sold on that kind of hero and that kind of playstyle, and I think he will be there, and he'll probably do all right. I don't think the meta is in the best place for him at the moment. I think that I don't see him being the most successful hero. Like, I think when we see the charts coming out of LSS for like the breakdowns, I think we'll see other heroes at the top doing really well. I think we'll see a lot of Enigma still. Enigma's still really strong. I think we've seen that coming out of the tournaments too. But I think you don't want to confuse like what you think the meta is at calling or at a pro tour with what you get at Road to Nationals. Because Road to Nationals can be very pet hero, favored hero focused. You're going to come.
I think pet hero is the word, isn't it?
Yeah, like, all sorts of players who might not actually win the tournament, but they're going to be playing their Boltons. They're going to be playing their OG dashes. They're going to be playing weird shit.
Well, they're going to be playing the CC decks that they have, right? Because they've built those decks over time, and that's what they've got.
And there's a lot of disenfranchised Oldhim players who
I was going to say Oldhim was very popular.
They're going to want to take their new Jarl deck that they've, let's face it, probably not really got to play with that much, because as we were just saying, there's not a huge amount of CC tournaments this side of Christmas. And they're going to want to go straight into the first big CC tournament of the new year, which is going to be Road to Nationals. So you're going to see him a lot. Is he going to just completely disrupt the meta? I don't think as much as we originally predicted. I think.
I don't think
like,
do you know what? I think
the deck, it's just not as impactful as I thought. Yeah.
You've mentioned one thing, Trip. You mentioned that there's a lot of Oldhim stands out there who are keen to use those cards again. So, will he be successful? Maybe not conversion-wise, percentage-wise, number of people playing versus converting to top 8s. However, I think there will be a lot of people playing him, and by that token, I think he will then be successful overall, because sheer numbers wise, he will be a force to be reckoned with in the new season. I think there are enough people out, and let's be honest, Earth Ice Guardian has a lot of tools at their disposal. There are a lot of ways to build that deck depending on how you want to play. Like there will be different variants. Is he as powerful as the Misfail heroes? Probably not. Like, they have an edge that if you look at them, the Mystic cards are pretty crazy. Transcending is pretty crazy. But will it bring something to the meta to disrupt what is going on? Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah.
This does.
No, I think you guys kind of nailed it. Like, overall, if you're thinking in the bigger picture, Enigma is kind of not what he wants to see. I think Nu's also going to be quite annoying, but he's actually really good at the same time. He's not like seeing Olympia or Betsy or Tekla Vossen or Riptide for the first time, and you sort of go, oh yeah, we'll play it, and you kind of go, oh, there's not really enough support. For him, he's like, oh my god, the support is there. It's
already stacked. Yeah.
It's just his class he's just like Guardians can always be present, but there is sometimes a meta that a Guardian just does not like, and right now I think
it usually involves an illusionist, right?
It usually involves an illusionist, and they hate it. Especially Enigma is just such. It's like the worst version of Guardian. Like it's the way illusionist can be built that is just like, oh, board state and
have this.
Yeah. It's just not like there's no phantasms or to deal with, which Guardian can usually go, you know what, this is cool. I'm cool with this. So but I do think he, like you said, Trip, he's going to rock up. He's going to rock up to these Pro Quests and RTNs. I also do think that someone like Kel McCree, for example, will actually try and exploit this because he's incredibly good. And if he shows up with Bravo, he will go, look, I'm not going to just build this deck in a way that I'm going to this style of play I want to play. He's going to actually utilize the immense card pool that this hero has access to.
I actually had a thought closer to home. Like Jacob Clements was a very good Oldham player.
Yeah,
who could turn his hand to Jarl.
He could, but
he's also an Enigma player.
Yeah, he's like it's no argument if you're gonna pick one of the two to go to an event.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I reckon he probably would definitely, like someone like Jacob and other great players in the UK and elsewhere around the world as well. But it is someone like Kel McCree that will just come out with something and he will just play it out. And I do think it will make people go, oh, okay, this is just a way and a take I didn't expect, because his card pool's so massive. Like, there is some little cheeky ways you can go around it. You can't. I'm not going to say that he's going to get past Enigma easily. He really is not.
Do you think that the sheer number of cards available to Jarl kind of sort of meant that LSS couldn't really push Jarl
the hero
that hard
ability
in terms of the cards that they could include in the deck that they made? Because it's just something from what you were saying, Hamish. Like, obviously with Dio, we saw one really pushed card and one incredibly pushed card in the Dash IO. I'll call it a structure deck for argument's sake. In terms of the new 0 for 4 in quotes and the Cerebellum processor, and there's some cool cards in the Jarl deck, but it doesn't feel as pushed. And maybe LSS felt because Jarl has so many cards.
So I'll tell you why it wasn't that pushed.
It couldn't do that.
Because they made an entire set called Tales of Aria that was so pushed. It was like, look, here's an entire armory deck. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I know that. Like he hasn't got that not so card. If that makes, I do know what you mean. But this is also a dude that can have Channel 8 Frigid in, and exactly. Which is just like, excuse me. Imagine they printed that and put it in the armory deck. Everyone would go, excuse me, what is this? What kind of absolute madness is this? But yeah, and he's also
like,
oh, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I'll let you continue in a second. It's just, and I was looking through the card list. I was just a bit like, yeah, it's cool. I think maybe they just lent like the mangle angle.
The mangle angle.
I like that.
Is cool, but it's also quite limiting. Like you like seeing the legendary equipment be sort of really based around mangle.
I think it's good. No,
it's cool,
no,
but
I
it's
like it.
Like,
no,
yeah,
it's
also
just
just
actually really good. Do you know why? Because it is the mangle angle. But what
the angle of the mangle.
This is the angle of the mangle.
It is the mangle angle. He is the guy that is Mangle, right? And what they cleverly did was that they gave him the double fuse because they just turned around and went, we've got this hero ability that actually the hero ability doesn't really do anything with Mangle, does it? It doesn't say anything about Mangle. It's just play ice
Not
cards.
His hero ability.
Yeah,
or the
but that's the interesting bit. Sure, you can put Mangle in, but seriously, you don't have to. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you just don't have to put Mangle in. You don't have to put this card in that, the legendary arms equipment. And there's that block 4 card that says, yeah, you know what? If you do find you're like, okay, yeah, this card's
That's pretty cool.
But
you probably want to run a Mangle.
But you probably do, yeah. But that's the interesting thing about this hero. Like, you've got completely nutso cards like Felling of the Crown and Plow Under and Oakenold. And he's also just put in 3 more copies of double fuse cards. So we all know that double fuse cards was pretty stupid in Tales of Aria, but luckily you only get 1 copy in your deck, so make it count. This guy goes, nah, mate, I've got that plus these lot. So it makes all these, they're leveraging these really powerful cards from Everfest and Tales of Aria and whatever.
Yeah.
They know that people are just going to chuck them in, so they'll just go, look, it's the Mangle dude, let's just chuck some Mangle angles and call it a day.
Yeah.
How easy is this? And they don't.
They should have
Uprising with all their bloody ice cards slapped in there. He has got so many sort of angles of approach that someone's going to come up with a Jarl deck in an event, and it's just going to be, what's kind of I don't know what it is. What's happening right now, and that's what happens at the very start. And I think in the end, he will just sort of coalesce into this is the sort of deck you should really play, and these are the cards you should definitely run, and blah 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 blah. But come on, man, there's like a Guardian Mastery pack set also coming out. This guy's card. Every time you have a hero with the biggest card pool, they do well. Like, it's just they just do really well.
I wish they printed a blue Mangle. That would have been cool. That's all I want.
Well, majestic. We'll call it.
Or the weapon. Like, once you break your shield, it should be like your weapon is now called Mangle.
No,
come on, that was so hype. Like, I think we should maybe
the
talk
blue one. We'll call it Blangle.
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 And then Yangle.
Yangle, Mangle, and Blangle.
Wrangle. The weapon. Were you a little disappointed by the weapon?
It's fine.
Or were you just a bit like,
No.
like, I'm not disappointed, but a bit like,
no,
we get it, right? There's so many good Guardian weapons.
Okay, so sorry, Simon, were you gonna have a?
Yeah,
no, okay.
I'm interested to listen.
Okay, so I think this weapon is actually really cool. Like, now,
thematically, it's amazing.
It's cool.
It's cool. Dead cool.
It's literally cool. It's nice, right?
I think my only thing is that I think 6 is quite. I was like, 6 is like a little steep, and then they also gave it the pole tax, which is unpummable. You can't pummel this weapon. It's a big. It's actually a deal, like a real big deal. Subtly.
We've got Anathos at home, right?
Yeah, and it does make you sort of think and go and like, you put pummel in because you really want to put CNC pummel or spinal crush pummel. I know you're not going to spinal crush, but do you know what I mean? You put a pummel in to throw it into an attack, and it's great. But the pummel's never wasted because you could just throw it on top of a hammer attack and go over to try and win whatever, right? But the pole arm tax is actually really, really, really annoying because you do go, do I really want to put pummel in? And then the second you start thinking, do I want to not put pummel in because I want to keep the pole arm? It does sort of weirded out with it. So in short, I don't think it's that great, but it's also a very flexible weapon to let you use shields, and then when the shield's broken, you've actually got a really
it does more damage.
You got a weapon that's like, all right, yeah, this is fine, but I do see people moving off of it.
Yeah, I hope that at some point in the future we see more interaction with the heavy keyword,
100%.
like a pummel for heavy weapons, or like the equivalent of that. That would be so interesting, or like a way to break your shield like while you're attacking, to give it like a sort of pseudo-esque attack reaction or something, like a shield throw or something. I mean, reactions aren't very Guardian, so I'm not as sold on that aspect, but apart from pummel, of course.
Pummel is that's
a generic.
But like the idea of I love the idea, and like Simon was saying, it might not necessarily be the strongest card, but thematically it's top notch.
I think it's 100%. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I do probably think that people might just move off from it. Because
Anathos is pretty good.
I don't think even the 6 cost is actually the biggest thing. I think it's because it says polearm. I mean that is legitimately
I get what you mean.
Worse than the cost of the weapon. We'll see. I do think this era is going to come out doing all right. I actually want to buy. This is I have got a KO deck. I still need to buy the Bolton one because that is a bit rude of me not doing that yet. And I do want to pick this one up. I want to actually have a wrangle dangle with the old mangle. There you go.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. Like I'm hoping he doesn't become as oppressive as Oldham did.
No, they haven't got Crown of Seeds. Let's just be real. If he had Crown of Seeds, it is a completely different ball game. I know it won't be 100%.
I guess.
There's no Winter's
Veil was so powerful when you're thinking back. Like many of these cards were we were like Crown of Seeds was so strong. It was almost hard to see the sheer number of power cards in.
Imagine Crown of Seeds with Count Your Blessings.
Yeah, sure.
And then Brother in
Stop
Arms.
1, gain 9.
Oasis Respite. It's just honestly, actually thinking about Enigma, this whole Crown of, it's not the same. I know it's not the same. So, but it feels somewhat like when you've seen Enigma with Count Your Blessings, that raw efficiency of all that blocking game when you pitch a card, but you get so much value out of that pitch card pushing things more. It very much felt like this is what Oldham did, didn't they? Just pitching cards to do.
There's a lot of planning. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see like Michael Fenn, who congratulations won calling Chicago. Was it Chicago? No, it's not. That's later on.
Portland.
Calling Portland with Enigma. It felt probably much like his roots of playing Oldham again, where he was just being incredibly efficient, blocking things up. I know he wasn't doing Count Your Blessings, but do you know what I mean? It's
just efficient play. Yeah,
it's a guardian. It's just effectively a blue guardian. I was listening to I'll not to sort of swing this on if anyone wants to talk more about Yao, but I was listening to Arsenal Pass with if you haven't checked it out, which I'm pretty much, if you've listened to this, I'm pretty sure you've definitely heard of Arsenal Pass. But if you haven't, go check them out. And Hayden and Punkage brought up something I never thought of before, and maybe I subconsciously always knew this, but when you've always you think, why is Dromai and Icelander and all these Guardians and New and Enigma and Zen, why are all these ones like really, really good? And it actually just suddenly dawned on me, is like, because their pitch resource, their blues, or their just the way their resource-based stuff works is incredibly efficient. And all their cards that they want to put in that are resources and cards you want to play are just better than everyone else's. And it just suddenly dawned on me and like, and that's probably why like when I was mucking about with Viscera, why did I not think about, like, I'm so stuck in my ways of going like, oh, I need to put some blues, like 18 blues into my deck, and then I need to get that sort of number to pitch this card to do this, and it's really cool and it works. When it works, it's amazing. But when you don't draw a blue, why does it feel like it sucks? And why does all these other heroes just not have this problem? It's like, yeah, because they don't have to try and do this balancing act like Florian does sometimes. You know what I mean? If you don't draw a blue in Florian, it just sucks. But you don't have that problem with Guardian or New or Enigma, because most of your deck is...
They can always do something.
No, because their deck is just pretty much blues. And Dromai, who cares? It's all reds.
I think that's why Zen
It's
was
interesting,
so
isn't it?
strong, because he kind of broke the aggro deal, right? Of like, okay, I need to run a ton of reds.
Your blue should suck in Katsu.
So I might occasionally miss a blue, and it might be tricky. But Zen was just like, well, no, my blues are doing such amazing things as well. So I had cards like Levels of Enlightenment. Such a crazy card, because it is as good as a red, and it's also blue. And we've had cards like this throughout Flesh and Blood. It's a really good observation. Like, when your resource cards are power cards, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, like Icelander. When do you ever have a problem? You don't. It's like, oh, if you've got a blue in your arsenal, you can play it as an instant. Oh, that's cool. I've got loads of blues, and guess what I'm pitching for every single turn? Like, yeah, it's... What, and I honestly think that's probably a massive. Apart from some of the cards are quite pretty good, obviously, but my part, the misfail, is just why do these heroes feel so incredibly solid?
There are so many blue bangers.
Yeah, like
even it even speaks to why Findel's Spring Tunic has been such a prevalent card ever since the first
dawn
set,
of Fab time.
Because it's essentially mana fixing, right? It's okay, I get one every 3 turns. I can make something happen, even if I mess up my mana draw, right? Like mess up my pitch draw. Like if I don't get the exact resources I need, Tunic can save me. And like obviously other heroes use Tunic to a much higher effect, but every hero has access to a small amount of mana fixing through Tunic, and that's really interesting as a concept. And like it's part of a big reason why Fab is such an interesting game. Is that pitch system?
Well, the resource system,
games. Oh, mana and resource in other trading card games can be real trash.
I mean, I know we're biased, and I was talking to a lot of biased people who love the game of Flesh and Blood at the skirmish on Saturday. But it really is just a phenomenal game. Like from the mechanics to the artwork to the people that play the game, the community, like it's just amazing.
I know.
And I feel very privileged to be a part of that community that has always had each other's back. And I know there've been little things either against or for certain people, but
that's just,
overall the community's been amazing.
It's just a great game.
Just before we wrap up, this is our last chance to make a solid prediction on what Chaos is, because by the time we've released the next podcast, the announcement will be done.
Oh wow, that's actually a brilliant point, and I wish we didn't ham out about all this stuff, because this is actually a pretty good topic to flesh out. Okay, what is Chaos? It could literally be anything. I haven't even got... There's nothing to sort of grasp on. But, okay, I'm going to go with the hero changing. Like, with his... The 8 legs of a spider. There's Arachne, and there's all the other Arachnes that they kind of thrown the artwork out there. I reckon that Chaos thing... like changes the hero ability, like the hero text about that's my just
the hero text.
I think, I don't know. Yes, that'll be my sort of out there pitch. Go. What about you, Trip?
I don't know. I'm tied between the idea of it literally being a random effect, like you roll a dice at the start of the game.
How to make a hero worse?
I know. But
I mean,
I
it
think
plays into chaos, right?
if it's not that, I feel like it has to be something that breaks like a fundamental rule of Flesh and Blood, and I don't know what that is. Like maybe something to do with the pitch system, maybe something to do with how attacking and blocking works. Like I think it has to do something like absolutely chaotic that completely breaks the normal rules of how Fab works. I don't know what that's going to be. If I'm honest, I'm probably more sold on the idea of it being a random thing at the start of the game, which I'm less interested in. But I don't know what it will be, but I think it will be it will be crazy. And you know what I'll predict? I bet the Talishar devs are gonna hate it.
Yeah. That I'm definitely with you on that. They will hate this thing. Maybe LSS just made a way of going, look, we don't want to cease and desist Talishar. We're just going to create something so insane that they can't possibly use it. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Simon,
so I've been thinking that it's actually almost a combination of the two, what the two of you have said. So I think the chaos means it probably will be randomized in some way, but I wonder if actually the different demi-heroes, or whatever we're calling them, allow you to play other class cards. So you have like a ranger assassin or a ninja assassin, or like you can have you have a set aside package of different cards that go into your deck to augment the hero that you're now playing.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was sitting there thinking, I wonder, like, what I don't want to see is the Living Legend like roster to have 8 Arachnes. And then go, I'm actually thought this is probably going to be, I'm hoping this is a clever way of how does Arachne Huntsman actually get going.
Yeah,
and it's a bit of a weird way of doing it, rather than just pushing him powerful cards and he just gets stronger, which is probably I hope they don't do this, because that's like, I hope they don't do that. I hope they thought what I'm thinking now. That's boring. How does hero get better? Make strong card. Okay, cool. What if we wanted to do something like that's actually thematically pretty cool, where we don't have to just make Arachne pushed. We're just going to have these 8 versions of Arachne. They're all still just one Arachne.
Well, like they did with Levia, right?
Like Levia, yeah, 100%. But like you said, Simon, whatever hero you can pick, and I think you can pick any one of them at the start. But I think you probably nailed it there. Like, your deck building choices, you can actually put all these talent card or class cards into the hero, but you can't. Whatever hero that you pick at the start is, for example, I don't know, Widowmaker. I think one of them is called Widowmaker. That one is an assassin ranger. So you can then, you've got this interesting decision on, maybe I should just put like, I've only got 80 cards still, if that makes sense. My sideboard is, I've got to put some arrows in, but I actually can put in some Guardian cards in there, or some whatever cards in there, whatever. But I can only put in so many because my hero only allows for this. I think there's a really interesting...
I think there's going to be some weird deck building restrictions.
But they're all Arachne. They're all Arachne. Yeah, so every time one of them wins, that is Living Legend points to Arachne Huntsman. And all of them are doing the same thing, because that's the weird nature of him. He's not one person. He is this collective.
Well, it's not he, is it? It's a they.
It's they are a collective group of these of these assassins. So if any one of them wins, they all win, because they're all.
I know. Sorry, I just meant Arachne is pronouns they, isn't? It's not a he, it's they.
I think this is going to be multiple personality, right? Like, I think that's kind of what
they all
the
same guy.
Yeah,
that's the point. Isn't it? That's the thing. That's the design, right? I think that's really interesting, is that it's playing on like this this persona, and rather than it being a single character, that up until now we've actually only seen one part of like one version of Arachne, and actually
there's two, isn't there? Because outside
solitary confinement.
Solitary confinement, and we were kind of going, that's really weird, but it's not weird, I guess. But they don't normally make two young heroes. Oh no, they do. I guess they do. They did Kasai, didn't they? So yeah, ignore me on that. They did do Kasai, then Kasai.
Well, I think it's really interesting. It's really cool that the world premiere in Prague sold out so quickly, and it's becoming one of the most popular Fab tournaments. And that's great to see the success of tournaments in Europe. Yeah. And it's really exciting, and I think I look forward to finding out about the hero, and I think we'll talk about it probably on an upcoming episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're sitting there talking about we've got the Marts coming out now. We've actually seen the two new Ninja and Warrior heroes, but we'll talk about them on the next episode
next time.
Yeah,
seem pretty cool.
Right,
one of them seems pretty cool.
Yep. The Ninja seems really boring.
It seems pretty cool.
Ninja sucks.
I'm so confused. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Well, it's rapid.